Have you ever looked in the mirror after a hair appointment and wondered, does this color make me look older? You're not alone. Today we're tackling a question I hear constantly from my clients over 60. Which hair colors add years to our appearance, and which ones bring out that natural glow we all want to maintain? Here's a truth that many stylists won't tell you. The hair color that worked in your 40s might be working against you now. I discovered this the hard way when my own mother came to me after years of using the same box dye. One simple color adjustment literally transformed her appearance, taking years off without looking like she was trying too hard. In the next few minutes, I'll share the 3 most aging hair color mistakes women make. Mistakes that even expensive salons might be making with your hair. But more importantly, I'll reveal the 3 most flattering color approaches that make women feel most confident and radiant. This isn't about chasing youth or following trends. It's about understanding how our coloring evolves and working with those changes, not against them. Whether you color at home or visit a salon, you'll walk away with practical wisdom to make informed choices about your hair color journey. Before we dive into specific colors, let's talk about what actually happens to our hair as we mature. Understanding these changes is the foundation for making smart color choices. First, our hair structure itself transforms over time. By age 60, most of us have experienced a significant decrease in the diameter of each hair strand. What was once thick and robust becomes finer and more delicate. This isn't just about having less hair, though that's common too. It's about the individual strands becoming more fragile. Then there's the most obvious change, graying. When our follicles produce less melanin, the pigment that gives hair its color, we get gray hair. But what many don't realize is that gray hair has a different texture. It tends to be coarser, more wiry, and often more resistant to color. This is why the formula that worked perfectly 10 years ago might not give you the same results today. Equally important is how our skin tone changes. Over time, our skin typically loses some of its natural warmth and becomes thinner with less underlying fat. This means the contrast between our hair and skin appears different, and colors that once complemented us perfectly might now create harsh contrasts or wash us out entirely. Consider how these 2 colors look on the same person. The shade on the left, chosen based on her coloring from 20 years ago, creates shadows and emphasizes fine lines. The one on the right, selected for current skin tone, brings light to her face and creates harmony with her natural coloring now. There's also a psychological aspect to consider. Our perception of what looks natural shifts as we age. A 25-year-old with jet black hair might look perfectly natural, but the same color can look severe and artificial on someone in their 60s or 70s, even if that was their original color in youth. The good news? Once you understand these changes, you can work with them strategically. The right hair color doesn't just cover gray. It creates dimension, flatters your complexion, and enhances your natural features. And remember, there's no single right approach. Some embrace their silver completely, others prefer to maintain a color closer to what they had in earlier decades. What matters is that your choice makes you feel confident and enhances your natural beauty today, not 20 years ago. So let's dive in and discover which hair colors might be aging you and which ones will have everyone asking what your secret is. Let's start with one of the most common color mistakes: solid jet black. Many women have used dark black hair color for decades, especially if they naturally had very dark hair in their youth. But here's why this might not be serving you well anymore. True black hair color creates what colorists call extreme value contrast. In simple terms, it makes a stark line between dark hair and lighter skin. While this can look stunning on younger skin with more natural color and elasticity, on mature skin, it tends to create harsh shadows that actually emphasize fine lines, wrinkles, and any unevenness in skin tone. Look at these before and after images. On the left, we see solid black hair that's creating sharp shadows around the eyes and mouth. Notice how it draws your eye to the texture in the skin rather than to the person's beautiful features. The flat, one-dimensional color also looks obviously artificial, which can add years to your appearance. Pay special attention to how the black creates a harsh frame around the face. Our eyes naturally perceive high contrast as a sign of aging, because as we mature, we lose the softness and blending that characterize youthful features. Now, there are exceptions. If you have a deep winter complexion with naturally high contrast features, or if your cultural background typically features very dark hair into older age, black can still work. But the key is softening it. Rather than a flat, inky black from roots to ends, notice how this softer black has subtle dimension. There are barely there variations in tone that make it look more natural and less severe. This might be dark espresso lowlights mixed with a softer black base, creating dimension without obvious highlights. If you've been using black hair color for years and feel attached to your signature look, I'm not suggesting you go blonde tomorrow. Instead, consider working with a colorist to gradually introduce some softer tones, perhaps a deep chocolate brown, or even some subtle midnight blue undertones that can create dimension while maintaining your dark-haired identity. Remember, the goal isn't to erase who you are, but to enhance your natural beauty as it evolves. Solid black can be aging, but rich, dimensional dark shades can be absolutely stunning at any age. The second, potentially aging color might surprise you. Platinum blonde and overly ashy tones. Many women gravitate toward these cooler blondes, thinking they'll help camouflage gray, but they can actually have the opposite effect. These icy cool-toned blondes, while stunning on the right person, can be particularly problematic for mature skin. Here's why. As we age, our skin naturally loses some of its warmth and rosiness. The yellow and red undertones that gave our complexion vitality in youth tend to diminish, leaving us with cooler, sometimes more sallow undertones. Look at this example. On the left, we see platinum blonde hair against mature skin. Notice how, instead of brightening the face, it actually washes out the complexion, making the skin appear dull and lifeless. The cool tone of the hair is competing with, rather than complementing, the natural undertones of the skin. Pay close attention to the area around the eyes and mouth. See how the harsh platinum creates shadows and actually draws attention to fine lines. That's because extremely light, cool tones reflect light differently than warmer shades, often highlighting texture rather than creating a soft, diffused effect. Beyond the aesthetic challenges, platinum and ash blonde present significant maintenance issues. These colors require frequent touch-ups, often every 3 to 4 weeks, because even a quarter inch of darker regrowth creates a sharp, aging contrast. This not only becomes expensive, but also means more chemical processing on already delicate hair. The level of lightening required to achieve these icy tones can severely compromise hair integrity, especially on mature hair that's already becoming finer and more fragile. The result? Often dry, brittle strands that break easily, and damaged hair always age your overall appearance. Now, if you naturally have very fair skin with cool, pink undertones and light eyes, ash blonde can still work beautifully. The key is ensuring it's not too light or too ashy for your individual coloring. If you've been loyal to your platinum or ash blonde for years, don't worry. You don't need to become a brunette overnight. In our glow-enhancing colors section coming up, I'll show you how adding just a touch of warmth to your blonde can maintain that light, bright look you love while being much more flattering to mature skin and far less damaging to your hair's health. Now let's talk about the third major color mistake that can add years to your appearance. Flat, single-process brown. This might be the most common issue I see, particularly among women who've been coloring their hair at home for years. What exactly do I mean by flat, single-process brown? I'm talking about those medium to dark brown shades applied evenly from root to tip, creating a solid block of identical color throughout the hair. While this approach seems logical, after all, it covers gray effectively, it can actually age you significantly. Take a look at this example. On the left, we see hair colored with a single process medium brown. Notice how it creates what colorists often call the helmet effect, where the hair appears almost like a solid shell with no variation or movement. This flat, uniform color doesn't exist in nature, even in younger hair, which naturally has subtle variations in tone. Pay attention to how this solid brown creates a harsh frame around the face. Natural hair, even when it's one basic color, always has dimension. Lighter pieces where the sun hits, slightly deeper tones underneath. Without this dimension, the solid color creates an artificial-looking contrast against the skin that can emphasize fine lines and wrinkles. Many at-home color kits can exacerbate this problem because they're designed to deliver consistent, full coverage. The result is often a flat, sometimes dull finish that lacks the reflection and movement that makes hair look healthy and vibrant. And healthy, vibrant hair is always more youthful-looking than hair that appears dull or artificial. Another issue with single-process brown is that many commercial brown dyes, both in salons and at-home kits, contain ashy or cool undertones to help neutralize red. While this works well for covering certain types of gray, these cool browns can drain the warmth from your complexion, especially problematic as our skin naturally loses some of its rosiness with age. Medium ash browns can be especially troublesome, creating what colorists call a muddy effect that doesn't flatter most mature skin tones. These shades often appear greenish or grayish under certain lights, which can make the skin appear sallow or tired. If you're currently using a single-process brown, don't worry, the fix doesn't require a dramatic change. In fact, some of the most youthful-looking color treatments for mature women are based on brown shades, just with strategic dimension added. Coming up shortly, I'll show you how adding subtle variations to your brown base can transform your entire look without taking you out of your comfort zone. Now let's shift to the exciting part, the colors that can truly enhance your natural radiance. First up, dimensional brunettes with warmth. This approach is often the perfect solution for women who've been using that flat, single-process brown we just discussed. What makes dimensional brunettes so flattering? It's all about mimicking what happens in nature. Even in youth, no one has perfectly uniform hair color. Natural hair has subtle variations, lighter where the sun hits, deeper in underneath layers, with tones that complement your skin's undertones. Look at this transformation. On the left, we have that solid medium brown we discussed earlier. On the right, we've introduced subtle caramel highlights and rich chocolate lowlights to the same base color. Notice how the hair suddenly has movement, depth, and vitality? That's dimension working its magic. Pay special attention to how the warmer tones around the face, these honey and caramel pieces, reflect light onto the skin, creating a natural illumination effect. This subtle glow is like having your own built-in ring light. It softens the appearance of fine lines and brings attention to your eyes and smile, rather than to the texture in your skin. The beauty of dimensional brunettes is their versatility. If your natural base was darker, consider rich espresso with subtle mahogany undertones. If you were naturally a medium brown, try a chocolate base with caramel highlights. For those who are lighter brown, a warm chestnut with honey accents can be stunning. The placement of these dimensional pieces is key. Strategic highlights around the face frame your features beautifully, while variations throughout create natural-looking depth. This isn't about obvious stripy highlights, it's about subtle, blended dimension that looks sophisticated and intentional. When talking to your colorist, use words like subtle dimension, soft contrast, and face-framing warmth. Bring photos that show the level of dimension you're comfortable with. And remember, you don't need dramatic contrast. Even slight variations in tone can make a significant difference. For those coloring at home, consider upgrading to a system that allows for some dimension, like highlighting kits specifically designed for mature hair. The investment in a slightly more complex approach pays enormous dividends in how youthful and natural your color appears. Our second rejuvenating color option is what I call soft, buttery blondes. If you've been drawn to blonde but have found platinum or ash tones too harsh, this warmer approach could be your perfect solution. Instead of icy platinum or ashy tones, buttery blondes embrace golden, honey, and champagne undertones. These warmer variations add a subtle richness that flatters mature skin in ways that cooler blondes often can't achieve. Look at this comparison. On the left, we see that ash blonde we discussed earlier. Notice how it creates a stark contrast against the skin and seems to emphasize lines around the eyes and mouth. Now look at the right. This is the same level of blonde but with golden undertones. See how it creates a soft glow that seems to illuminate the face? That warmth is reflecting light in a way that's much more flattering. Pay close attention to the area around the cheekbones and jawline. The warmer blonde actually creates the illusion of more lift and definition in these areas, while the cooler blonde can make features appear to recede or flatten. That subtle warmth mimics the effect of beautiful natural light on the face. What's wonderful about buttery blondes is their range. For those with naturally fair hair, a creamy blonde with subtle honey lowlights creates beautiful dimension. If your natural color was darker, consider a butterscotch or caramel base with lighter golden highlights. These blended variations look sophisticated and intentional, never brassy or artificial. Now let's talk about maintaining these warm blondes, because that's where many women struggle. Unlike ashy blondes that often require toning to counteract brassiness, these warmer blondes work with your hair's natural tendency to warm up over time. That means less fighting against nature and less damage from frequent processing. I recommend using color-preserving shampoos specifically formulated for blonde hair, but avoid purple shampoos that are designed to eliminate warmth, exactly what gives buttery blondes their magic. Instead, look for gold-enhancing or illuminating products that maintain that subtle warmth. When working with your colorist, use terms like golden blonde, honey highlights, or warm champagne. Avoid words like platinum, ash, or cool in your description. And be specific about wanting warmth around your face. This is where it makes the biggest difference in how flattering the color appears. For at-home color, look for shades with words like golden, honey, or warm in the description, and steer clear of those labeled ash or cool. The right warm blonde can truly transform your entire appearance, bringing a youthful radiance that cool blondes simply can't match. Our third glow-enhancing approach might surprise you: strategic silver and gray blending. This isn't about surrendering to aging, it's about embracing the sophistication of silver in the most flattering way possible. The key word here is strategic. We're not talking about simply growing out your natural gray, although that's certainly a valid choice. Instead, this approach uses color techniques to enhance your natural silver, creating dimension and shine while eliminating the often uneven, patchy appearance that can occur during the graying process. Look at these transformations. On the left, we see hair in that awkward transition stage, some areas gray, others holding natural pigment, creating a somewhat dull, uneven appearance. On the right, we've used strategic color techniques to blend and enhance these variations. Notice how the hair suddenly looks intentional, sophisticated, and radiant? Pay attention to how the blended approach creates a multi-dimensional silver that catches and reflects light. This luminosity is incredibly flattering and youthful looking. See how it brightens the face rather than draining it of color? That's because properly maintained silver hair has a beautiful reflective quality that illuminates your features. There are several approaches to strategic silver blending. For those just beginning to gray, subtle lowlights in your natural shade, blended with silvery highlights, can create a gorgeous salt and pepper effect. For those further along, incorporating platinum or silver highlights alongside your natural gray creates beautiful dimension. Maintaining gorgeous silver requires specific care. Gray and silver hair tends to yellow or develop a brassy cast from environmental factors. Using blue or purple shampoos once or twice weekly keeps silver looking bright and clean. Additionally, glossing treatments every 4 to 6 weeks add incredible shine, and shine is always youthful. The difference between dull gray and luminous silver is primarily about condition and shine. Look at this comparison. Same color, but the hair on the right has been treated with shine-enhancing products. That reflective quality makes all the difference in how vibrant and modern the silver appears. Embracing your silver strategically can be incredibly liberating. Many of my clients who've made this transition say they feel more authentic and confident than they have in years. Plus, the reduced maintenance compared to full-color coverage means healthier hair and less time spent at the salon. When discussing this option with your colorist, use terms like silver blending, dimensional gray, or enhanced natural. Bring photos showing the level of silver versus dark hair you prefer, as this approach can be customized to your comfort level with gray. Now that we've explored both aging and enhancing hair colors, let's talk about how to put this knowledge into action with some practical advice that will help you make the best choices for your unique situation. Finding the right colorist is crucial for mature hair. Look for someone who specializes in color for women over 50. They'll understand the specific challenges and opportunities of mature hair. When you schedule a consultation, which should always be free or applied to your service, come prepared with questions. Here are the essential questions to ask during your consultation. How would you adapt this color to flatter my skin tone? A good colorist should immediately discuss your undertones and how certain colors will complement them. What kind of dimension do you recommend for my face shape and features? They should discuss strategic placement around your face, not just all-over color. How will we maintain my hair's health during the coloring process? This is critical. Damaged hair always looks aging, regardless of color. What kind of maintenance schedule would this require? Be honest about how much upkeep you're willing to commit to. When showing inspiration photos, and you absolutely should bring these, focus on women with similar coloring and features, rather than celebrities or models who might have very different natural characteristics. Better yet, bring before and after photos of real women in your age range. For those coloring at home, understand the limitations. Box dyes are designed for full coverage, which can create that flat effect we discussed. Consider more sophisticated at-home options like highlighting kits designed for mature hair or root touch-up products that can extend time between salon visits. Regardless of what color path you choose, proper maintenance is essential. Invest in sulfate-free shampoos formulated for color-treated hair. Use heat protectants before styling, as mature colored hair is especially vulnerable to heat damage. Weekly treatments with color-preserving masks will extend the life of your color while keeping hair looking healthy and vibrant. Look at the difference proper maintenance makes. Both of these women have the same hair color, but the one on the right uses specialized products and treatments. Notice how much more vibrant and healthy her hair appears? Healthy hair always looks more youthful than damaged hair, regardless of color. Remember, the most flattering hair color is one that makes you feel confident. If maintaining your signature shade brings you joy, find ways to adapt it with subtle dimension rather than abandoning it entirely. Small adjustments, slightly warmer tones, a bit more dimension around the face, can make a dramatic difference without taking you out of your comfort zone. And finally, schedule seasonal consultations with your colorist. As lighting changes throughout the year, you might benefit from subtle adjustments to your color formula to maintain that perfect, flattering shade. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Share it with anyone you think could use a little boost in confidence and style, and leave a comment below. Until next time, remember that elegance starts from within, and you're more than capable of radiating it every day. Stay graceful, stay confident, and most importantly, stay you.